Good afternoon children, welcome to standard 4. Now today I am going to start with a new lesson, that is storage of water. Lesson 3, storage of water. Now you will open your textbook to page number 16. Open your textbook to page 16 and you can see a girl watering the hillock. Now what is a hillock? A hillock is a small hill or mound. It is a small hill or mound. I will show you the picture of a hillock. You can see the hillock, you can see the hill. It is made up of soil, mud and stones. It is a small hill or mound. You can also see the same picture in your textbook. And you can also make a small hillock of mud or stone, mud and stones in your house, outside your house. Now, we are going to answer a few questions that are written there. On page 16, you can see the girl putting water on the hillock. Now, in which direction does the water flow? When she is pouring water, in which direction does the water flow? The water flows downwards. You can see that arrow pointing down. The water flows downwards. How does the water flow on the steeper slopes? It flows faster. How does the water flow? It flows faster. How does it flow on the gentler slopes? It flows slowly. What happens when the stones cause an obstruction? When the stones come in the way, when the stones block the way, what happens to the water? The water changes the direction. It changes the direction. Now, where do puddles form? You can see puddles there. Where do the puddles form? Where there are small pits, small holes, small pits. Puddles are formed over there. In places where small pits are formed. Now, when does the direction of the flow change? When does the direction change? When there is an obstruction. When there is an obstruction in the flow of water, then the direction of the flow changes. Now we take the next question. Now when you stop watering the hillock, what do you see? You can observe things. Why did the hillock dry when we stop pouring the water? When we stop pouring the water, what happened to the water? The water either it goes into the ground, it seeps into the ground, or it evaporates with the help of the sun. It evaporates. It goes up into the air. Now, how long does it take for the hill to dry? How long does it take? It takes an hour. It takes an hour for it to dry. Now, which part of the hillock dried quickly? Which part? The part which is of stones. It dries quickly. Which part takes longer time to dry? Soil. Where there is soil, that takes longer time to dry. Why did it take longer to dry? Because there is water in it. So it takes longer. It is wet. There is water in it. So it takes longer to dry. You can note down these, you can write the answers in your textbook itself next to the question. Have you noted down, children? Now, we come to the next part of the lesson. Now you can see, in the last lesson we have learned that all living things need water. We all need water to live. And early man also used what needed water for living. So what they used to do? They had to store water. And they had to store water so that they can use the water for the whole year round. Now there were two methods of storing water. One was the traditional method. Traditional method, and the next one was the modern method. Traditional methods and modern methods. Now, which are the traditional methods? The traditional methods are wells, draw wells, tanks, rivers, bunds. We have reservoirs, and old tanks. And the modern methods were dams and borewells. Modern methods. These are the methods. These methods are used now. Modern methods. These are the traditional methods. These are the old methods which are not in use now. Now, we are going to learn the first one. As I have told you earlier, that we all need water. We all need water to live. It's very, very important for us. Now, all the water, whatever water we get, it comes from the rain. And the rainy season lasts for 3 or 4 months. And we have to use all this water for the whole year round. And that is why we have to store the water. If we do not store water, then we will have a problem of water shortage throughout the year. And that's why we should always use water very carefully, economically. We have to use water very carefully. Now first we are going to learn about the old water stores. Now in your textbook you can see the first one is wells. First one is wells. Now I will show you a picture of a well. You can see the picture of a well. Now, in this picture, we can see a rope is tied to a pot. And in this way, people used to dig wells and then they used to pull out the water using this pohara. It was called pohara. A pohara is used. It is tied to a rope, and with the help of this pohara, we remove the water. We pull out the water from the well. I will show you another picture of a well also. Here we can see another bucket is tied to the rope, and the water is pulled out from the well. This is called draw well. Now what happens to the rainwater? It seeps into the ground. It is in the ground, and we have to dig out wells to obtain this water, to get the water. Now, in olden days also, when there were forts, on the hill forts, people used to live on the hill forts, and they also needed water. So, they also had to use wells and tanks. They used to build reservoirs, tanks, and they used to get the water from there, because it was very difficult for them to carry the water from far away places to the fort. So many of the forts had tanks. Now you can see a picture of a fort, and you can see a tank near it. A tank is like a big huge swimming pool. You can see this water here, and you can see the fort. This is called a tank. Then we don't want the water to flow away. So we have to build a wall on both the sides across the river. From one bank to the other bank, we have to build a wall. Now this wall was called a bund. What is it called? Bund. An earthen bund was built across the river to store the water. Then I will show you another picture also of a tank. You can see a big tank here. You can see a fort here. People have come to visit the fort, and you can see a big tank. This tank is used to store the water for using it later on. We can see one more picture of a tank. There's a big huge wall built near the water to store the water. Here. This is also a tank. You can see a huge wall built across, and you can see water is stored in the tank. Now these are all the old methods. So wells, draw wells, tanks, draw well is also called art. There is another name for draw well, that is called art. Tanks, then old tanks. Old tanks are also called hound. Then we have reservoirs. And bunds. All these are old water stores, old methods of traditional methods of storing water. Just repeat with me: wells, draw wells, are tanks, old tanks called hound, reservoirs and bunds. Reservoirs are artificial lakes. They are called artificial lakes. They also store water. Reservoirs were built to store the water. Now, First one is dams. Now what is a dam? Dam is built, we have to build big walls, big huge walls to store the water. Big huge walls are built. They are called dams. And we can store huge quantities, lots of water in this dam. And with the help of dam, because there are dams, farmers can get water throughout the year. Farmers get water throughout the year. Then factories also use this water all year round. We can also generate electricity. We can get electricity by using the force of water flowing out from the dams. But this water is not enough. So we have to store water. We need a lot of water for our daily needs. So what should we do? We should save water and use it economically. So what are dams? Dams are big huge walls to store the water, to store huge quantities of water. And with the help of this dam water, farmers get water to grow crops throughout the year. Factories get water throughout the year, and we can generate electricity also. Farmers use this water factories are set up, and wherever the factories are set up, what happens? Cities grow and more land is brought under cultivation. Brought under cultivation. And what do we do? We can generate electricity. Generate electricity. I'll show you a picture of a dam. This is the picture of a dam. You can see how huge quantities of water is stored in a dam. How the water is flowing fast. You can see a big wall built, and that is called a dam. Children, make a note of this in your book. Now we are going to learn the second one, that is borewell. Now what is a borewell? You can see on page number 18, you can see wells were dug to reach the water under the ground. Now when the water is seated deep under the ground, deep underground, it is very difficult for us to remove that water. So with the help of electric pumps, we remove this water, and bore wells are dug. So bore wells are dug with the help of electric pumps. We remove this water, we draw out this water, and these bore wells, they are very deep, dug deep, they are dug deep, but they are narrow. They are not broad, they are narrow. They are dug deep, but they are narrow. Now we come to the next part of the lesson, that is Pan Koi. Now what is the meaning of Pan Koi? Pan Koi is drinking water stand. It is called drinking water stand. Now you must have seen in many places, especially during summer, you have seen these Pan Koi set up so that people on the roads, when they are walking on the road when it is very hot, when they feel thirsty, they can drink this water. So in some places we can see big clay jars. They are called clay jars. They are clay jars and they are filled with water and they are kept for people to drink when they are thirsty. Now this water is offered free of charge. They don't charge them for this water. It is offered free of charge. We don't charge them. We don't ask them to pay money. They can drink the water without paying any money. This is called Pan Koi. Now these Pan Kois are set up. They are kept by individuals. Even individual people like you and me can go and keep clay jars so that people can drink water, or even some institutions, schools, and some organizations also, they can keep these Pan Kois outside so that people can drink the water, and it is useful especially in summer. Okay. Now you can see the picture of a Pan Koi also. You can see it's a picture of a road. And you can see there are Pan Kois, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kept here. They are clay jars, they are clay pots, and they are covered with a lid, and there is a glass kept on it, so that people who are walking on the road, when they feel thirsty, they can go and drink water from there. Now, in Maharashtra, we have many dams. Now, which are the dams? It is there in your textbook. You can go to that page number 18. Maharashtra has several large dams such as Jayakwadi. Now, where is Jayakwadi? Now, Jayakwadi is in Aurangabad district. You can see, I am showing you the picture of Maharashtra map. Is the picture of Maharashtra map. You can also ask mommy to get one for you, and you can mark the places and you can see where is Aurangabad. So Jayakwadi Dam is built on river Godavari. There is river Godavari here, and it is all built on river Godavari in Aurangabad district. The next one is Koyna. Now where is Koyna? Koyna is Koyna Dam is built on river Koyna in Satara district. Now where is Satara? We shall see where is Satara. Satara is here. Below Pune. Below Pune you can see Satara. So Satara Koyna Dam is built on river Koyna in Satara district. The next one is Ujni. Now where is Ujni? Ujni is here in Sholapur. It is on river Bhima, built on river Bhima in Sholapur district. And the last one is Yeldari. Yeldari is on river Purna. Now that is in Parbhani district. You can see Parbhani here. Below this near Jalna. Parbhani. It is in Parbhani district. So the first one I taught you is Jayakwadi. Jayakwadi is in Aurangabad district. The next one is I told you about Koyna, that is Satara. The third one is in Sholapur district, and the last one is Parbhani district. Okay. Now you can make a note of these dams. First one is Jayakwadi. Built on river Godavari. In Aurangabad district. Next one is Koyna. Built on river Koyna in Satara district. Third, Ujni. Built on river Bhima in Sholapur district. The last one is Yeldari. On river Purna in Parbhani district. Children, make a note of this. Make a note of this in your notebook. Let us repeat this. Dams, which are the 4 dams? Jayakwadi, Koyna, Ujni, Yeldari. Jayakwadi built on river Godavari in Aurangabad district. Koyna built on river Koyna in Satara district. Ujni built on river Bhima in Solapur district. Yeldari built on river Purna in Parbhani district. Make a note of this in your notebook. Let us repeat this once again. Names of the 4 dams: Jayakwadi, Koyna, Ujni, Yeldari. Jayakwadi built on river Godavari in Aurangabad district. Koyna built on river Koyna in Satara district. Ujni built on river Bhima in Solapur district. And Yeldari built on river Purna in Parbhani district. Thank you, children.